This is a Go to War podcast, which is a mindset.
It's time to go to war.
You're the fucking problem. Get your mind right and get ready to go to war.
It's time to go to war.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Go to War podcast. This is your host, John Paramore. Let me give you a little bit of just some homework that we catch up on every single time we do this podcast. Number one, you guys know this is not a paid podcast. All we ask you to do, like it, share it, comment, get it out there. If you get something from it today, share it with everybody else. Okay. Number two, I can tell you for sure on today's podcast, there's going to be some language that's used on the podcast. So if you're allergic to the words fuck or damn or shit or any of that stuff, you need to turn the podcast off and go find something else to do. So you guys know this year, one of the things that I've decided to do is bring people in. I went the whole last year and a little bit of 2019 just by myself, dropping all the 20 years plus of entrepreneurship on you guys. And there were some requests. Hey, bring some people in that you can rap with and we can learn some stuff from. So here we are. We're granting your wish. Okay. So the guy I have in studio with me today is a good friend of mine. He's somebody that's my coach, my mentor, my buddy Ryan Stewman. How you doing, man?
You know, it's weird because I feel like I'm everybody's friend more than like a
dude.
Like a mentor or a coach or a consultant or whatever that I always feel it's like I tell Amy all the time. Matter of fact, with my wife last night, I was naming 3 people and I was like these are my friends. She goes, well, those are actually your clients. It's like, well, they just happen to be clients
right.
too, you know. It's like, so it means a lot that you say that. It's like, hey, good friend, because I know guys like us that really carry some weight because, like, we know everybody. I've known the guy for forever, but when you really call somebody a friend, it makes a difference.
Yeah, man. And I think one of the cool things that you've taught me along the way is, like, you know, we keep our circles pretty damn small, right? And for a lot of people that listen to these podcasts, some of the things they struggle with is I'm trying to be everything to everyone. And I think that's something that I've really learned from you is focus on the people that need your help the most, serve the shit out of them, keep your circle small, don't let everybody in it, be protective of who you are and what you stand for. But what do you feel like is the biggest reason for you why you tend to keep it small and not let everybody in?
Well, you know, first of all, like, my reach is crazy these days. And I don't say that to like, oh, I'm social. It's just like, man, I guess I put in the work and it's working finally, you know? And so when that happens, as you know, there's lots of people that show up. There's the person that shows up that wants you to invest in their business. There's the person that shows up that wants you to, you know, give them money or donate to their charity. Or it's like, here's what really makes a friend to me, since we're talking about this. Like, if you don't want nothing other than just friendship, that's a real friend.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, if I hit you up on the phone, it's not like, oh, shit, what does Stewman want? You know? Hopefully, when I call people on the phone, they're like, oh, I bet he got some cool shit to say, right? Because I don't ever want to be that person that's always with their hand out. And so, you know, the more reach you have and the more people start showing up with their hands out, you know, and it doesn't make them bad people. You got to shoot your shot, man. I'm a sales guy, but I like to keep the circle small of people who, if I didn't have $1 to my name, they would still be there and still be offering to do the things that they're doing with me now. And there's, you know, as many awesome people as there is in my life, there's not a lot of people that really roll on that level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I think when we first started working together, I'll never forget, I think it was like our 3rd call that we had. And I had paid you some money and I kind of stalked you a little bit and I was like, hey man, help me with this, this, and this. And you're like, look, if you're going to be the dude that needs to call me every other day, I'm not for you. Like, but if you want to do some shit that you can actually make an impact with, then we can do some shit together. But if you keep thinking small, you act like you're afraid of everything. This is not, we can just be friends and you go on and fuck off and kind of do your own thing. But you know, that kind of thing. But no, you laugh, but that actually means a lot to me because you said that to me and I'm like, man, like in the mindset I'm in there right now, I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of like a little bitch. You know what I mean? Like I'm just showing up like weak. Right. And I remember Katie was sitting in there when we had that call and she's like, you know, we both kind of sat there for a minute, a little taken back. And I was like, fuck man, what did he just say? You know, like, do I want to be coached by this guy? Right. But that thing is always stuck with me. Like working with you, I work with you and we hang out together, not because I need anything from you, but because you've created something really great that I want the proximity. I want to be in your space. Like I want to help you and you're helping me just kind of by default. But we have some challenging conversations, but I think it's needed in that space. So, the main thing I'm trying to make a point of is that we do have a lot of friends, but that circle is kind of tight. And I like hanging out with guys like you more than, the guys that need stuff from us, right? Yep. That's kind of, it seems like it's refreshing. And it seems like a lot of people that we hang out with are like that.
Well, we're providers, givers, providers, whatever you want to call that. And you're always going to attract some level of takers and needers, right? When you're a giver or a provider, there's going to be takers and needers. Difference is there's only so much you and I can give, so we got to preserve that shit. Takers unlimited. It's unlimited what you can take.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like I can only buy one bag of candy to leave out at Halloween, but if you show up, it's unlimited. You take the whole damn thing, but I can only provide one.
Right.
Right. And so, I think that's important to understand. And when you are a provider and giver in the sense that we're helping so many people, it's nice just to be able to have a conversation with somebody about some memes or some popular culture shit versus, well, now that I got your attention, how do I put together this extensive, comprehensive plan to put SOPs together for my like, fuck.
Yeah. It makes you rub your face a little bit.
I should have never answered the phone.
I can relate. All right. So the main reason why we do this podcast, I call it the Go to War podcast because it's a mindset. It's a mindset that I've had probably since my 5th year in business, where I just wake up and I'm like, it's time to go to war with the motherfucker I see in the mirror every single day, right? My thing I focus on is I got to be a little better than I was yesterday, right? So I know for the people that are listening, I'm sure a lot of people are listening that know you, but kind of give like the 3-minute story of like the shit, a little bit of the dip that you had, and then kind of the resurgence of Ryan Stewman.
Yeah, I will. First, I want to say, since it's the Go to War podcast, and you're like, I look at the man in the mirror and I go to war with them every day. I want to say something that I just read yesterday. Okay. Right. So this is like very good timing. I believe it's in the book, The Art of War, that I read this, right? Not The Art of War. It's Robert Greene's book on war. I think it's just called War. Okay. Right. But anyway, so I'm listening to it on Audible yesterday morning on the way to the gym. And they're talking about these 2 tribes in Africa. One of them lives along the coast of a river. They have nicer houses. They're laid back. They're just like, chill people. And then there's these savage people that live in the desert that are war-torn. They're fighting each other's communities. They're just fucking crazy, right? So you got these people that are living on the coast, right, like California, for example, over there, that are just, chill and just having a good time and relax. But the biggest problem the people on the coast have is these war-torn bastards in the middle of the country keep coming and taking them fucking over, and they taking them over because these people aren't prepared for war. So even though they have this cushy life, but they're not prepared for war. So scientists started studying these people, right? And so they started studying both sides to figure out, okay, well, obviously they're not prepared for war. They are, which is why they can easily take them over and take their shit. But they also realized the reason why these people never defended themselves, because when you're at war, you assemble, right? You have a chain of command. Right. And if you're at war with yourself, chain of command's right here, right here, then the action you put behind your legs. Right. Yep. And so, but they have a chain of command. They have politics. They have systems. And even though they fight each other, and even though they were actually more established and well planned out and thought out and respectable towards each other, the war-torn people, than the people were living the life on the coast over there. So it's something to think about. A lot of people think, oh, well, war, man, that's violence and crazy and everything else. Well, life's violent.
Right.
You drink too much water, that shit'll kill you. Everything,
absolutely.
Death is, like Tupac said it best, death is around the corner. Everything, you breathe too much air, death, right? Too much water, death.
Sure.
You see the wrong shit, death, right? Yep. Like it's just, it's around every fucking corner. And, if you don't realize that, and you get like the people on the coast, and you get lazy and complacent, and you're not prepared for war, not only do you not have the structure in your life to help you keep establishing and living life on the plane that you're at right now, you're also going to get overtaken by somebody who's been preparing for war every fucking day.
100%.
So I just thought I'd throw that little history in there.
And you're right, though, because, dude, we all got, we've heard that saying a million times, everybody's got to play until they get punched in the face, right? We all got punched right in the mouth last year. Every single one of us, right? And the difference to me were the guys that had been prepping for war long before that shit ever came. Guys like you and me pivoted. That's all we did. We didn't stop, panic, freak out. whatever. We just pivoted. We're
Just
like,
changed
well,
a little
fuck. I
bit.
mean, that's
Yeah.
it. It's adversity. We prep for war. Here we go. Right. So I love that. So yeah.
So about me, I've been in this internet marketing space really before it was cool. I've been doing this since 2009, and I remember when I started my first social media management agency, I would tell people, it's like, look, man, I'll manage your social media for you. I'll post on Facebook and Twitter, and people were like, those sites are a waste of time. Like, who hangs out there? Like, those are a fad. They're going to go away. It's like the internet. The internet's a fad. So I've been doing this for a long time, but, over the years, I started out in the mortgage business. And in 2010, I went full-time on the internet, and I started coaching mortgage people. That was literally all I knew. I knew how to wash cars and do mortgages. That was it. There's only two things I'd ever had any success with. And so I started teaching loan officers how to do stuff and did that for 4 years. It was like just loan officers, just teaching them the internet and Facebook, right? So it's like, here's how to get realtor leads from Facebook. Helped a lot of people in the banking business make money. A lot of the guys that are the top, probably out of the top 25 guys still today that are listed as the top originators in the country, probably 15 of them have been through my program at least. Maybe all 25 of them at this point. And so that was really cool, but I got tired of having the same conversation. That's right. 4 years later, I'm not a banker no more, right? And I'm not a banker anymore, and I've had the same conversation. It's the same repetition over and over again. And I know repetition's mastery, but I'm bored of it, right?
Right, sure.
And I think there's only 300,000 or so loan officers in America. I got to be able to reach more than that number. So I come up with this mission, right? And so my mission is for me to help people become the greatest version of themselves, as many people as possible, right? So I want to help as many people as possible become the greatest version of themselves. But that sounds cool, but it also sounds kind of hokey, like secret shit, right? And so I'm not that guy. And so what I had to do was I had to lure people in with money and sales and marketing, right? It's like, hey, we'll teach you how to make some money and fly private and Lamborghinis and all this stuff. And as soon as we get them in, it's like, all right, well, listen here, you got to work on your mind first,
right. My word, it's funny that you bring that up. Same shit. Yeah.
It's funny because back when I was working with loan officers, I met a real estate agent. And she put it the best. She said, when I'm trying to get somebody to let me list the house, I got to tell them how beautiful their house is and, oh, I love your furniture and all these things they want to hear. As soon as they sign those papers, like that fucking ugly couch is out of here. You got to paint that wall. What the hell were you thinking here? Because now we got to sell it, but I got to turn my hat around.
That's right.
Right? And so that's kind of what we do. We do help people make money. We do help people with sales and marketing, but really the mind plays. And most of our people are already doing pretty good. They're already making 6 figures a year, right? Like 99% of them. And so when you get to that point, you realize real quick that money doesn't solve all your problems. It's the right mindset and the money applied to those problems that gets the solutions, right? And so we've been doing that for the last 4 years real heavy. And we decided that we were going to live by a code, and we were going to have some core values, and we were going to not just let anybody in. We were going to do application only, and we were going to make it referral only. So you either have to come direct to us or through somebody. And those are things that are unheard of in the internet marketing world, because it's always like run ads, get a funnel, the whole Russell Brunson thing, run ads, get a funnel and all. And we did all that, and it worked really well for us for years. But lately we just got to a point where we said, hey man, we're going to double down on the core values. We're going to follow this system, and we're going to stick to it and nothing else, right? And what happened was last year, like you said, everybody pivoted. Well, I'm a big fan of Warren Buffett, and not just because he has money, because sometimes him and Charlie Munger say the most simple shit that is so fucking profound. And I've read, I listened to a book one time that was 60 hours, the whole entire Warren Buffett story from him being born to where he's at in 2014. So, like, big fan. Well, one of his famous sayings is be fearful when people are greedy and greedy when people are fearful. And I watched last year everybody get filled with fear.
100%.
Well, I'm a good old Texas boy, and I don't really like being told what to do much. That's why I work for myself, and it's why I've always been in sales. And so I thought, well, you know what, man? I've been to jail before. If the fucking cops come in here and arrest us for working our business, I'm gonna be all right.
I'm gonna be okay.
You know what I mean? A lot of people were scared of that. I don't want to go to jail. It's like, you know what? Fuck, it wasn't so bad. You know, it's like I'm not gonna have any issues coming in and out of there for running my business, right? So while everybody else got scared, there was really two things we did last year that saved our ass. We've always had an expensive program, and expensive being, you know, anything at high ticket to me is over $1,000, right? The majority of our shit's well over $1,000, right? So last year everybody got scared. It's like, well, I don't want to invest this money, you know, because fuck it, maybe the last money I get.
Right.
So what we did was, for the first time in history, we ran a sale. In 11 years of doing this shit, I've never discounted my deals ever, and we gave away $20,000 worth of shit for $500. I think it was $300.
Yep.
And it was, I've never had a sale. I'd never given people access to this. But we sold thousands upon thousands upon thousands of these fucking bundles, because people buy when price when value exceeds price, right? So this is $20,000 worth of shit you've seen me fucking sell to everybody.
Right.
And now you can have it for $300 because I want you to fucking win this year.
Yeah.
And so as the year went by, July, August, September, they saw that we still threw our events. They saw that we fucking gave a discount to help people out. And obviously people are thinking, Stewman's not getting rich $300 at a time. Trust me, I was not, right? I got a big staff to support. But I wanted to fucking be the guy that, while everybody else is trying to figure another way to con them out of money, I wanted to be the guy who's like, here, give back. But I also know that if you don't invest a couple $100 in something, you'll never fucking use it. And I wasted my time even giving it to you.
Yep.
So, but again, just bare minimum entry. And so we sold thousands of that, and it built up huge goodwill for us. And again, while everybody else was freaking out and not doing things, we just powered forward. The cops never showed up.
Of course.
We threw seminars for fuck, you threw a seminar for like 100 people with me last year. It's like,
exactly
no fucking problems, right?
Right.
Like, nobody ever showed up. Nobody did shit.
Nope.
Like, you know, we never fucking wore masks or any of that stuff. We just, you know, I figured the cops got other shit to do. And if they show up, whatever, right? And so they never did. And so, you know, last year was like a big year for us, just because while everybody else was fearful, we got greedy, to use Warren Buffett's words, right? Mm-hmm. We said, you know, a lot of people stepped into e-com. We said, shit, we just going to stay in this fucking lane. Mm-hmm. And everybody that's now all of a sudden avoiding our audience, we're just going to love them and fucking respect them and show them that we're here more. And as you've seen, man, within the last 6 months, I mean, we're doing now in a month what used to take us half a year. You know, it's like, it's unreal. And we're going to get to a point where we're doing in a week what used to take us an entire year. So
yeah, but and we talked about this a little bit before we came online, but one thing I said to you when we were having lunch was you produce more content than just about anybody that I know.
And I'm really the guy doing it.
Dude, I know that, right? But so my question to you, again, it kind of in that same realm of go to war. Why do you do all this? Why? I mean, because you know me, I know you. We know other guys out there doing, you know, the same amount of shit that we do with less content and paid ads and Why do you produce all the fucking content?
Two things, because I believe closers close. And in order to close something, you got to be committed to see it to the end, right? So when I started a podcast in 2011, right, that's how long I've been doing this shit. I got literally 2,000 episodes or so, maybe more than that. You know, nobody was doing podcasts, but I just kept doing it. Just added it to my routine, picked it up. Year later, a blog, I'm adding blogging once a week. Year later, videos once a week. So you got to remember, I've been doing this shit for 11 years. Sure. So it's not like I just put all this content, but that content I was putting out in 2011, nobody knew me or listened to it then.
Right.
Now, a lot of folks know who I am, and they can go back and still listen to that.
Absolutely.
It's still fresh, brand new content for them.
Yep.
And so at this point, let's just say that there's probably 70,000 realistically pieces of content because shit gets recycled. Like if I'm mentioned in Forbes, which I've been in around 150 times, they might get picked up by Chinese Forbes and Washington Post knockoff. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Yep.
so there's about 70,000 pieces of content, not counting social media. We're just talking about on Google, right?
Good grief.
And so like if each one of those things generates one lead a year, just one lead a year, I put so much out. But the main thing is I just never quit.
Yeah.
If I did something, I said, man, I'm committed to it. Nobody's good when they start.
Right.
Nobody's good at something in 6 months, right? With my podcast, for example, my first episode had 6 listeners. Second episode, 0, right? Like those 6 people gave up on me fast as shit, right? And then, you know, 3rd, 4th, 5th fucking episode, 1, 2 fucking people. Nobody listened to it. You know, flash forward, 10 years later, I'm still doing the shit. I never quit. Now we got 3 million people a month that listen to it. Had I quit somewhere along that way, I would have missed the fucking lever that tipped everything over to come and work for me. The same way with my blog. When I wrote my first blog post, man, like nobody read that shit, right? But now, like I'm saying, last month, 38,000 people searched for us on Google. And which may not sound like a lot to some people. It sounds like a lot to me. Because I'm just saying, man, I'm just one dude, but that's cool that many people are looking up to read something of mine, and so, I just kept doing this shit, but I created a habit out of it every time too. So it's like, okay, so I know I'm gonna write one blog post a week, make one, podcast a week. I'm gonna make one video a week. I'm not asking myself to do too much, but I knew this. When I started, Ryan Dice had digital marketer. I mean, he still does, but he had it back then. And I remember seeing they had shitloads of content on this blog. And here I am, I started hardcorecloser.com with like one blog post and a video, right?
Yep.
And I'm like, but one day, the only reason he has more than me is because he's been doing it for 5 or 6 years, right? He's been blogging longer than I have. One day, I will fucking out-content them. I'm just going to run this shit like a marathon and play the long game. You know what I mean? I haven't beat Ryan yet because he's stuck around. A lot of guys haven't, though. A lot of those guys that back then had a whole shitload more than I do don't even exist anymore, you know?
Is it a game for you to like beat the game, or is it like what are you going to war with every day?
I'm going to war with average on a lot of people's behalf.
Yep.
And on a lot of people's behalf. I'm not a pastor or president in the country or anything like that, but I carry a lot of people's weight for them. And and the best way to carry someone's weight for them is be the example. And fuck, it's not easy, man.
No,
I'm a 41-year-old guy that's in pretty good shape, that's got a lot of money, is no shortage of temptations out there, right? Whether it's women or drugs or going to the club on Friday night or whatever, but I got to be the example. I got to be like the pastor. What if I'm out getting fucked up and there's somebody that's watched the Force of Average video and they see me fucked up and they're like, oh, if the guy I look up to who I thought was straight is all fucked up, then I'm probably going to be okay to be a fuck up too. I've done that.
Yeah.
And it didn't work.
Yeah.
Right. I've been that example and it didn't work. So really I'm at war with average. I've got to be above average to be able to teach people that fucking, hey, here's the example. I don't just say this shit. I live it, 2 Fridays ago, friends in town for a concert. My friend's a big country music guy, and they're in town to play a concert in Dallas. And for another friend of mine owns the company. He's $6 billion in sales last year, and he owns the company. And my friends come to play for their company party, and so it's big country names. I'm not gonna drop no names, but it's some big country names hanging out with us. And my life's really cool off of social media. There's some shit I can't put on there,
Right.
And they're fucking slobbering drunk, like slobbering. And I show up. I had been at church, right? So I left church to go to the club with these guys, right? Church was over. I didn't just walk out. But I left church to go to the club with these guys. And by the time I showed up, they've been on the tour bus. They're already hammered and everything else. And it's like, you know what? There's going to be a lot of people with these guys on video. Yep. There's going to be a lot 100%. Of people, and they're having fun. That's fine with them. They're all in their 20s anyway, right? And that's fine. And there's going to be a lot of people in here that know me that ain't going to say shit. They're going to try to get me in this too. And again, I got to be the example. So as much as I came there to get drunk and have fun with them, once I seen the situation, it's like, and they kept saying, hey man, let me pour you another one. They didn't know all night long. All I drank was club soda with a lime in it, right? But again, I got to be that example. So while they're dancing and having a good time and stuff, I got to be the, and I'm not dad, you know what I'm saying? I don't ever say, oh, John, you shouldn't be doing that stuff. It's just like, hey, I got to be the example. So that's what I go to war with every day. Because when you're the example and you have something you stand for, shit, everything along the way is trying to trip you.
100%.
We've seen the greatest pastors and leaders we've seen pastors that, and I'm not saying they're great, but we've seen pastors go on huge crusades against homosexuality only to end up sucking a dick in a hotel room. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've seen it, right? Because that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? When you're leading on that level, first of all, they deserve that for going against them. But when you go on these big crusades and you're in front of people. I mean, people been trying to catch Joel Osteen. Joel Osteen says there's fucking wires in our church with the flood that will electrocute you. You cannot come here. And they're like, well, he won't let nobody in the church, right? I mean, they when you're on that level, and I'm not saying I'm on Joel Osteen's level, but there's every agent of average and every opportunity to fucking pull you down trying to get you, you know. It's
Well,
not
and
easy.
we both, I mean, I have anyway. I've uttered the phrase many times, success doesn't reward the wrong people.
Yeah.
And I feel like part of that is exactly what you're talking about, where we're being tested at all times, right? There's a test. And it's like, well, if you don't fucking pass this test, you're not going to get the next door open because you're done at this level, right?
That's it.
So it is legitimately, and dude, like you said, it's heavy as fuck to carry that.
It is.
It is, because people watch you, they watch me, they're like, if he's telling everybody to go get in shape, but he's a fat ass, that's not going to work.
Yep.
Right? Like, you have to, if this is something you're going to live, if you're going to talk to people about be better in your spirituality, be better in your relationships, be better in how you show up in your business, but yet you show up like the complete opposite. It's like, in this day and age, like you said, we're always on camera.
Yep.
Somebody's going to get it somewhere, and then they're going to be like, fuck this guy. He's just trying to sell you snake oil. And shit isn't working.
Yeah, and it's also hard to be as transparent as I am. You know, it's like
100%.
People usually meet me and they're like, "You're a lot nicer than I thought you were going to be." You know, it's like I'm very sarcastic, so sometimes my shit gets misconstrued. If you don't know me, you wouldn't know that, but I'm obviously very sarcastic now. You listen to the podcast, but you know, I have friends that we were somewhere not too long ago, and everybody was getting high, right? Which is cool. I'm pro marijuana. That's fine. But there was one person there that had never, this person's 50 years old, has never smoked in her life, right? And they were trying to give her a gummy. And she's like, what do you think, Ryan? Do you think, I mean, you smoked the shit for forever. What do you think? I said, I think if I have 50 years without it, I'd live another 50 without it.
Yeah, smart.
You know?
Yeah.
But here's the reason why I tell the story is because everybody there was trying to put this pressure. Go get high for your first time. You'll love it. I was the only person that was like, hey, man, you know what? I think if you made it this long, you might as well, like, why fuck that up? And I love it. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you it's something that I like, but if you hadn't done it and you've lived this long without it, like, there's probably a reason for that. You should just, so she decided not to do it. But, you know, that's a good metaphor for life, because there's 5 people way cooler than me trying to convince her to do it. You know what I mean? And I wasn't convincing her not to. I'm just saying, hey, you know,
something to consider.
As somebody who does smoke the shit, I'm just saying, you know, fucking 50 years without it would have been nice for me. No telling where the hell I would be.
Yeah.
You know?
No shit.
So,
do you have something else?
No, I'm just, you know, it's to go back to your war thing. I mean, we're at war constantly.
Always.
But just like I was saying about those villages, the more structured, when you're ready to go to war, you're more structured. If you know you're going to war, you're going to sleep on the couch all day, you could get your ass in the gym. Right? If you know you're at war against the fucking tax man, right? Are you going to sleep in the morning, or are you going to get up and go to the fucking office, right? In understanding it that way, because war doesn't have to be guns and knives and violence and shit like that.
Nope.
It's structure and carrying out missions, really.
Yeah. Well, and to summarize on that, like, guys like us who have lost everything and several times and had to rebuild, like, we know how easy it is to lose shit, right? Like, for me,
my life's looked like a war-torn country a few times.
Mine too, man. I'm right there with you. But it's like, you know, I think now there's this level of, you're 41, I'm 43. There's this level of humility at this point where I know I'm not fucking bulletproof anymore.
Yeah.
When I was 20-something years old, I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know, I was kind of like, I'm full of piss and vinegar. I can fuck anybody up anytime I want, kind of thing. But it's like, now I'm 43. I'm not bulletproof anymore.
Yeah.
Everything that I have, all my shit, all the money, all the companies, everything could be taken away in a blink. So I know that if I don't wake up every day and go to war with that dude in the mirror, like, I'm putting my family at risk. I'm putting everybody that works for me at risk, the company at risk, all the clients that trust me at risk. Everything's at risk. So it's like you said, man, we got to get up every day and work to be that example. It's a heavy load, but it's also really fucking rewarding, because you and me can look at each other, not each other, but we can look at ourselves in the mirror and say, I'm fucking proud of you.
Yeah.
And I think, to me, that's one of the biggest things for me that's really, really important, is I got to be able to look at that dude every day and be like, dude, today was a good fucking day. I'm proud of you, right? And that's hard for a lot of people. I know there's a lot of people that listen to this podcast and they're kind of looking for the answer and their purpose and whatever. And I'm like, my purpose is real simple. I wake the fuck up every day. I look at the dude in the mirror. At the end of the day, I got to be able to look at that dude and go, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Today was a fucking good day. Right? Serve my people well, serve all the people that trust me
Not
well.
too many people do that.
That's it, man. And that's one thing that
I
think you
like
do.
A king.
Dude, and I think you do that really fucking well. Right? That's something that I watch you do. And what I love about it is we know, guys, we can tell the difference between the motherfuckers that are trying to sell people shit, and that's all they care about is selling people shit, and the people that actually give a fuck about the people that reach out to him and go, hey man, can you help me?
Yeah. You know, you talk about a while ago, being full of piss and vinegar in your 20s and shit. I would be remiss if I didn't tell this story. So I had to go to the doctor last week. I'm like, man, like my back hurts, and my fucking liver hurts, and fucking kidney hurt. And I'm not even really a drinker. I might have like maybe 3 drinks a week, like in one night if I'm going on date night or something. Like, man, like, dude, I'm pain in this, my legs, fucking my groin, I need to stretch. I'm like, fuck, I gotta go to the doctor, right? I look up some shit on Google and it's like, you're just dying,
yeah, you have everything.
Yeah, you got like, you got cancer from your ass to your fucking forehead, bro. You're in trouble. Like, it's just crazy. So I make this appointment with the doctor. They do these blood tests, piss tests, like all this fucking different things to figure out what's wrong. I'm like, surely, man, it hurts this bad. Like,
it's got to be something.
Like, it's got to be something. He comes back, and I'll never forget, and he's like, Mr. Stewman, at 41 years old, you are a fine specimen of health. Everything is absolutely perfect across the board. You have nothing to worry about, from your blood pressure to your heart to your prostate to everything in between. I said, and it fucking feels like this. I'm perfect fucking health, and I feel like shit, man. I feel bad for motherfuckers out there that aren't in perfect
Dude,
health,
you're not
man.
Kidding. Yep. No, you're spot on.
He looked at me like I was gonna be all happy, and I was like, and it feels like this. That's fucked up, man.
Well, I can tell you, as a guy who suffered with panic attacks for a really long time, I'll take a few aches and pains and bumps and bruises, as opposed to some of that shit.
I blame it on working out.
Yeah,
anyway,
well,
you know what I mean? Like, I tell myself, it's like, oh, that hurts. It's probably because I did something in the gym. And I think that really, I was reading a book about the placebo effect and how real it really is.
Sure.
And I think thinking of it that way just teaches the brain, oh, it's nothing to worry about. Just, it's just pain from the gym. Keep it rolling, even though it may not be sometimes.
Right. Awesome. Where can people find you?
I really get on 2 social media sites, Instagram and Facebook. You can just type in Ryan Stewman. I'm blue check, so if it doesn't have a blue check next to it, that's not me. So if you want to follow me on Instagram or Facebook, just type in my name, Ryan Stewman. Look for the verified profile. You know how the people are. They be making, I guess that's a sign of success. They, I had it's funny. I had this, I'm just tell it like it is. I had this old lady hit me up the other day.
Sure.
And she says, I didn't realize it, but it was a fucking rip-off profile of you, and I sent them $99 for one of your programs. And I was like, oh, man, that sucks. And I said, what programs you buy from? She's like, oh, blah, blah. So I just gave her she sent me like the PayPal thing and everything. So I just gave her the login. So that happened on Instagram. I go to Facebook and I was like, man, that really sucks. This dude just ripped off this old lady, and I told the story. She shows up in the comments. She's like, hey, asshole, I'm not an old lady.
That's so great. I'm not an old lady.
But yeah, somebody got her but anyway. But yeah, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook, and I answer DMs. So
yeah, that's true.
But I'm gonna read them all. Rest assured that I read it. So if I didn't reply to it, you probably didn't send the right message, I guess.
Right. And I'll warn you, if you send some really dumb shit, he's got a group called Sales Talk with Sales Pros. He doesn't hesitate to put that shit in there, and those motherfuckers
they
will
need
put
entertainment.
You on blast.
Yeah, they need entertainment.
What about the books?
I've got 13 books,
13
maybe
books.
14. 13 at least on Amazon.
Yeah.
If you were going to start with one of them, read the G Code. It'll change your life. You make it through chapter 3, it'll open your eyes to what's possible. So the rest of them are a lot of how to make money, kind of shit like that. But the G Code is the best. And then my book, Hardcore Closer, has absolutely no sales value whatsoever, but it's got lots of drug-induced stories on there that are pretty funny. So
I'll tell you guys, too, is, again, as a friend, he's one of my coaches, one of my mentors. I'm in his program, Apex Executives. I highly endorse him. You guys want to reach out to him or his team, get some information about that. If it's a good fit for you, jump in. So thanks for hanging out.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Thanks
that.
for hanging out. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, dude. All right. We'll talk to you guys soon. Get your mind right. Go to war.
It's time to go to war.
Thank you for listening to the Go to War podcast. For more information about Smash, please visit www.thesmashco.com. This has been the Go to War podcast.